Hi, I'm Derek Lynn, a Boston University student studying in London. For this project, I chose to research British women's recognition for their war efforts during World War I. I will be studying the statues of two heroines, Edith Cavell and Florence Nightingale, as well as a few exhibits from the London's Imperial War Museum. Edith Cavell was the matron of the first nursing school in Belgium. Recognized as Belgium's mother of modern-day nursing, she smuggled around 200 Allied troops into the Netherlands while working as a nurse in German-occupied Belgium during World War I. Cavell was court-martialed and executed by a firing squad on October 12, 1915. The engravings say she died for king and country. Cavell is gloriously carved wearing a flowing robe. She looks powerful, brave, and defiant. The pose she is striking reminds me of all the Prime Minister statues in Westminster Abbey. She lacks femininity and is a warrior, and instead of having her date of birth, her date of death is pictured. Cavell is shown in her most honorable yet tragic moments, if only all statues are so beautifully carved. But Cavell is more than just a martyr. She saved around 500 lives during World War I. Her distinction as an extraordinary human is shown on the top of the statue as she holds the baby. She is symbolized as a mother to all of England's troops. Not just any mother. Cavell is a lioness full of fortitude. Cavell has been properly recognized, but I think all the qualities I listed about this statue ultimately come together to show her patriotism. In Christina Roberts' article, Gender, Class, and Patriotism, Robert argues that women have been widely recognized for participating in the war in order to help the suffrage movement. But what about patriotism? Robert finds this single classification of every woman's motive for serving Britain to be insulting. In this statue, Cavell is not portrayed as a women's rights activist or a feminist. Cavell is portrayed as a national hero. Florence Nightingale is another heroine and the founder of modern-day nursing. She established the first nursing school at St. Thomas's Hospital and brought the first nurses to military hospitals during the Crimean War. Nightingale was known for her compassion and would often walk around with a lamp at night to check on soldiers. The statue has the lamp as well. Unfortunately, Nightingale's statue lacks the warrior side of her. The statue is very feminine. I do not believe she wore such a tight dress while working in hospitals. Nightingale is elegantly but unrealistically carved. This depiction of woman being pure, clean, and undamaged during war is insulting and does not do justice for all the suffering women in war. The one item on the statue that does do Nightingale justice is her lamp. Like Cavell's statue, Nightingale's patriotism has been honored. Christina Robert, author of the article Gender, Class, and Patriotism, mentioned before in Cavell's narration, but I found this statue satisfactory with its representation of Nightingale's love for country, because the lamp shows how Nightingale went above and beyond in her service. We will now be moving on to how the Imperial War Museum recognizes Britain's women's sacrifices during World War I. Now, this exhibit is a bit deceiving. Women over the age of 30 were given the right to vote, but if you look closely, the leaflet promoting voting only has male names as examples. Farah, the author of Woman, Science, and Suffrage, thought women over the age of 30 were hardly involved in the suffragette movement and hardly participated in the war because they were busy raising children at home. So when the war ended, women over 30 were the more traditional women who would fight little for social change. Farah even argued that by deliberately giving women over 30 the right to vote, the government was intentionally, quoting Farah, disempowering younger women who had experienced work as chemists, electricians, and welders, and now wanted to retain the wartime freedom and independence. And since women over 30 never experienced any of the womanly perks of war, they would be less likely to fight with their vote. The second exhibit is this caption, which is one of the few in the museum claiming Britain's appreciation for their women during World War I. While this caption is true, British VADs were appreciated, but at what cost? According to Janet Watson's Khaki Girls, women who were part of the parliamentary organizations, such as the Women's Army Auxiliary Corps, and filled official ranks, were frowned upon, and the woman who managed to get slightly better pay and hours in the munition factories received mixed reviews. It seems the more masculine the role a woman had, the more opposition she received. VADs were voluntary aid nurses deployed during the war. Nursing was considered a feminine job back in the day, and the women were unpaid. Instead, women had to pay for their training and uniforms in order to participate. To put it bluntly, Britain only appreciated women who worked difficult feminine jobs for free. But does this caption show this historic disrespect? So after being taken into context, this recognition, indicated by the caption, is greatly depreciated. The final exhibit from the museum shows uniforms worn by female soldiers during World War I. Although the female soldiers were non-combatants, their jobs as bakers, clerks, and other roles were vital in sustaining the British war effort. The recognition of these important roles women had during World War I is important. But again, the great discrimination these women faced is not shown. Ferry quoted a soldier saying, "Women were such a nuisance in wartime, and who were these odd women in uniform anyway?" But we never hear about the disgust men had for women during World War I in this museum. All in all, most of the exhibits have slightly disappointed. There was not one exhibit that talked about the discrimination British women faced, and the statues were better, but only Cabell's was near perfect.